What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel as you come in and you check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on this post that recently came across my timeline, right? And the title is "The End Is Near," right? And then so you have LeBron James, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, uh, let me see, James Harden. Then you have Chris Paul. Let me see. You got Kevin Durant. Let me see who else. Who was this other guy? Jimmy Butler. And then at the bottom on the right hand side, you have Draymond Green, right? And so it says the end is near. And in my opinion, like this era of basketball, in my opinion, was the weakest era. Um, of basketball. And I'm kind of glad that it's phasing out and it's coming to an end. Not, and I know people, people might say that I'm picking on this era right here. But like I said, this era has been the weakest era. So what did this post say right here? This post says that it said we're witnessing the final chapter of a legendary era. LeBron James, 23 years, Steph's still lighting it up at 17. Katie, CP3, Russ, Harden, Dame, Dre, all close to the finish of their career. An entire generation superstars we grew up watching is fading before our eyes, right? And at the end it says, enjoy them while you still can, right? And so let me just go through these guys right here, man, because like I said, these, in my opinion, that's was yeah. This, like I said, this has got to be the weakest era. You have LeBron James. I think LeBron James has 4 championships. Steph Curry got 4. Russell Westbrook don't have any. James Harden don't have any. Chris Paul don't have any. Let me see. Kevin Durant have 2. The 2 he got from Steph Curry. Jimmy Butler don't have any. Yeah, Draymond with 4, right? It's just and the thing about it, what makes it this era just so weak? All of these players, with the exception of Steph Curry and Draymond Green, just floated around from team to team. And in my opinion, that is a big part of what was wrong. Not It's part of what was wrong with this era, right? Because you never got to see, besides, like I said, besides somebody like Steph Curry. I don't even know why Draymond is on here, but besides Steph Curry, he's the only franchise ball player that stuck with one team. And like I keep saying, when a franchise ball player stick with one team, that makes, and I think this era, in my opinion, belongs to really Steph Curry, because that makes, like for instance, the trials and tribulations and everything you have to go through in order to win a championship, it just makes it that much more impressive, that much more impactful when you can stay in one place and not try to team up with other teams. I mean, with other players, so you can win a championship, right? And Steph Curry is the only player on this list who did that. I'm not even counting Draymond, because Draymond, in my opinion, is a role player. He's not a franchise ball player. He's benefiting from being, playing with Steph and Clay, right? But like I was saying, when a franchise player stay on one team and you watch him go from, get into the league, you watch him go to the championships and everything he has to do to get to the championships, then you watch him have to rebuild and go back to the championships and stuff like that. That makes the fan base more invested in what the team does, right? Also, it shows that the player is willing to to adjust this game because whenever you win a championship, teams adjust to you. They have film on you. They know what you can do. They know what you like to do. They know what you can't do. So they try to force you to do the things that you're not comfortable with. So you always have to get better as a player when you stay at one place. Now, when you move around from team to team, like LeBron, for instance, like with LeBron, if you don't have a low post game, then all you need to do really, if you know, you need to go and find somebody with a low post game, like Chris Bosh. You know, if you don't have a mid range shot, then what you need to do is go to Miami and play with somebody like Dwayne Wade, who's who has a really good mid range shot and is an in between. You know, he can play in between and a slash to the basket, right? That didn't really, so you didn't really get to see LeBron James get better year after year. All he did was go and play with the better players. When you take somebody like Chris Paul, Chris Paul, if he had a stayed with one team, I'm not saying that he probably would have made it to the championship if he had stayed with the Clippers or if he had stayed with where else he played with Phoenix. He played with a lot. He played with like 6 different teams that I can recall. But I think if Chris Paul had stayed in one city, put them on the map, because I think he either started out in Charlotte or either New Orleans with the Pelicans, right? But had he put that team on the map, like people try to give Chris Paul credit for putting the Clippers on the map. Why didn't he put Charlotte on the map? He didn't. I don't believe he put the Clippers on the map. Let me just say, Kevin Durant. So if you think about Kevin Durant's career, Kevin Durant started out at OKC with James Harden. Now I think with James Harden and Russell Westbrook, I think those three right there, had they stayed together, I think they would have probably won multiple championships. And if they'd have won multiple championships, you'll be looking at Steph a lot different than you look at Steph, because I think his team, when he left, I think they was priming up to be able to beat them. The year that he left, I think they had the Golden State Warriors down, 0-2. And they wound up losing a 2-game lead. And after that, Kevin Durant left and went and joined them after they had just beat Kevin Durant. So I think if Kevin Durant had stayed in OKC, he would have been able and won. I think he probably would have won 2 or 3 rings if him and Russ could have got it together and played together. So James Harden, they had James Harden and Russell Westbrook. But when they left, man, it just was they really, I think they messed their careers up, floating around from team to team. LeBron James did it. Everybody on this list, like I said, Jimmy Butler. Now, Jimmy Butler, in my opinion, I consider him a little bit better as of a player than Draymond Green. I don't really consider Jimmy Butler like a franchise ball player, and he proved that when he was in Miami, right? They put, some really good defenders around him. They put some shooters around him. But Jimmy Butler wasn't that piece that could get Miami over the top. And so I don't really consider him if Jimmy Butler had to play with another superstar, somebody like say like if he'd have played with, let me see, who was he playing with? He playing with Draymond and Steph now. I think if Jimmy Butler went to Golden State earlier in his career, then he probably could have, helped them to win a ring because of what he brings to the table. He's not somebody who's going to be, I think Jimmy Butler on a really good championship team, I think Jimmy Butler is like your third option. He would be your third option. So, but I'm so glad, man, in my opinion, that this era is coming to an end. I like the young talent that's coming up. You got the Houston Rockets, those young guys on the Houston Rockets. You got Şengün, Amin Thomas. They look good. Then you have OKC. That young team looked good with Shea, the guy Holmgren. Who else they got on there? Williams. I mean, that team looked good. Then you got Detroit. And man, Detroit, and it just seems like after every game, it just seems like Detroit is getting better, right? So, man, it is yeah, man. The league is, I think, is now going to be in better hands. I just think that this era right here, in my opinion, had to be the weakest era, man. And so that's my take on it. Let me know what you think. Do you think that this era right here was the weakest era? You think it was the best era? Maybe you think they fall somewhere in between. But when I look at the players from the '80s, and then I compare these guys to the guys from the '80s and the '90s, no, really no comparison. But that's just my take. Let me know what you think, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.